good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to another edition of the Mark Mosey Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, here even during Olympic season. Yes, 1-800-747-FREE. Yeah, it's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And to speak about the Winter Olympics, there is only one person I can think of who's actually been to the Winter and Summer and also the World Cup. Is my great friend, Princess Nicole. We got much to discuss. Nicole, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me.
You have been a great presence on my radio show for years and years. You are in my Hall of Fame.
I'm not that old.
No, you're not. No, you're not. But it's the first time we get to see the presence, the amazingness of you on camera.
And you did not forewarn me. I know I should have been aware, but we've done so many conversations without video.
Yeah.
And listen, you were in TV for a lot of, like, you still do TV. And I know that today you didn't have professional makeup done. And I know that that can be at times, we'll say, less common for men to do. But you really got to make sure that everybody coming on knows that they need to be camera ready.
I sent multiple links. I was like, okay, you're going to do this.
And I said, what's this weird link you're sending me, Mark? And you never responded. So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Nicole's great where she's like, what's this secret link? What is this? Like, are we going to a private party? Yeah. It's the link to the studio.
Thankfully, I'm not in my pajamas, and I did actually brush my hair a little bit today, so we're all good.
I appreciate that, Nicole. I really do.
I do feel like in this moment, though, I should have put on Team USA gear. Normally, during the Olympics, I'm rotating through kits and jerseys from various countries and teams. I'm kind of failing this year.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't know. I think the weather's been weird. Like, I'm in Florida and I'm wearing socks today. It's cold. It's just thrown off my whole mojo. I know other parts of the country are so much colder because I've been traveling and I've been where it was 0 degrees, feels like colder, which I think is just, it's wrong. And I feel bad for all the people that are in those really cold places, although I know that some people really do like it. And some of the people that really like it are those Olympic athletes who are competing in the Winter Games right now. Because, man, when they're up there on the mountain, think about all the training that they do. And even those that compete in the indoor sports, you look at the crowds when they're watching ice skating or hockey, everybody's bundled up. Those arenas are cold. So, I think my takeaway from these 2 weeks of winter in Florida is that I'm probably not meant to be a Winter Olympian.
But, okay, I think the question was, Mark, why did you not send a heads up that we're going to be on video? And it somehow turned into you're complaining you had to wear socks because you think it's too cold outside here. Okay.
That's right.
Right.
You never know where it's going to go when we talk, Mark.
Okay. My parents sent me the photo updates yesterday and I posted them to Facebook.
I love your parents, and I am so happy that they are living my best life.
Now, you went to the Winter Olympics in 2010 in Vancouver, so you've experienced this. It wasn't far from where you lived to go there, but
right, we were able to drive. Yeah, it wasn't super close, but yeah, your parents had to go a long ways. And here's the thing, I was planning on going to these games. I met with their ticket provider. You can there's a process you can go through to get early access to tickets. I went through that process, and then the time came. And then I looked at the geography, and they said this is the most geographically spread out games that have ever been. And so when it came down to it, I'm not retired like your parents, so was more
Couldn't do it.
constrained with schedule. But there's three main different parts of the country where the games are competing. So if you want to see a variety, you really need to have that time to be able to travel from place to place. I know that your parents are traveling from place to place, which I think is awesome to get that experience. But one of the things that I really love the most about the Olympics, that I loved about going to Vancouver and I loved about going to, we call it Rio, it's actually pronounced Hio. What I loved about going to those games is that when you're in the city, even if you aren't attending the game, there's so much activity that's Olympic oriented. There's different celebration houses for many of the different countries. There are different events that are put on, some by the city, some by the Olympic committees. And so often you can go to a park and watch a concert and then watch a big screen broadcast of some of the different events. You can see in some cases some events that are happening in the city with cycling or the marathon or various things like that. You're running into family members of athletes and you're seeing people just from all over the world. So it's this really incredible energy that I think is really unique, and it's a really unifying experience. And I just had concern that it wouldn't be quite that same experience with everything so spread out. And, the official Olympic villages being in a different area than where we were looking to go. And so we said, you know what? Let's put a pause on this and let's get serious about LA 28. So
Oh,
I don't know, Mark, if you are prepped for that. I have entered the drawing, which will be happening later this month, and they're going to be doing the first ticket allocation round. And that's how I attended the previous games, was following that process. And then they do typically open up more inventory closer to, as we saw with these current games as well. And so I'm planning to buy tickets for 2028 this
you're
month,
ready.
and we'll do that.
I
So you need to come. Let's have a big
I need
party.
I need to do this. It's interesting you bring that up because the World Cup this summer, everyone's brains thinking, "Oh, it's the United States." No, it's North America. And it's going to be in Los Angeles, New York, I think Kansas City, you're going to have Atlanta, Miami. All right, so all Canada,
Seattle.
yes, Canada, Mexico. Yeah, so there's not going to be some hub like you're talking about, like when you went to Vancouver. It's going to be like that.
Right.
So here's what they did. They had free miles with their airlines.
Your parents.
Yes, they did. So something I never do because I'm not smart enough to plan like that. They had the free miles. They've been planning this trip for a couple years now.
That's
They did
great.
what you said, where when did the tickets go on sale? So I think like a year ago, you had to get up at maybe it was
It
they
was
got
probably a couple years ago.
yeah, so they got up at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so that in Italian time when it went on sale. So they're up in the middle of the night buying. So they bought a couple tickets, and they said, "What the heck?" So they went to Milan. They saw the opening ceremony. They
Love that.
they saw Mariah Carey sing. They saw all those athletes show up, and my mom said Bocelli was amazing, like
Oh,
just
yeah. In
remarkable.
person. Oh,
Remarkable. So they saw the quad god do a backflip on the ice skating, and he won. I know Team USA won the team medal. I think was that yesterday. I forget what day it is.
all a blur.
Yeah, my dad, he took, okay, I'm going to give him credit. You talk about a great photo, and I'll send it to you. And I posted it to Facebook. An amazing photo. He has a great photo of the quad god skating on the ice. It is awesome. they saw that I can't think of their name, the married couple, the figure skaters who won gold. I mean, so
Mhm.
they saw that. They saw women's hockey. They saw Team USA win against the Czech Republic. And then I think they saw another game like Finland play someone. And the funniest thing my mom said to me in FaceTime, she goes, Mark, I'm all about unity. And she goes, look, we see Canadian athletes and I'll root for Canada. That's our neighbors. And then for a moment, she gets angry and she goes, I'll root for Canada. But if it's women's hockey, I'm rooting for USA. Canada's going down. So they leave Milan. They get on a train. They go to Torino, who
Mhm.
I think they hosted the Olympics before.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
We stayed there when we went to the Women's World Cup
Oh,
because even though it's in one country,
mm,
it's spread out a bit. Similar, I mean, obviously, a lot smaller country.
yeah.
France is a much smaller country than the continent of North America. But we did drive to a few different cities when we were there, and we stopped in Torino and stayed in an old Fiat factory that's been turned into a hotel where they filmed a movie. It was pretty cool. So I'm
Oh,
glad your parents got to go there. When we went there, it was just a place to stop in between, but we ended up exploring a bit because our hotel guide was like, I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you know this. And that's why you chose to come here. It was not, but we're like, interesting. So we checked some of those things out and it was a great experience. So I love that your parents are going and seeing multiple sites. They're having the Olympic experience, but they're also having an Italian experience. It's
well,
fantastic. Keep
Torino.
telling us more.
I know what's funny is people are watching this, they're probably thinking, get your parents on. Why are you two knuckleheads talking about this?
Right?
So they only go to Torino because the town, like you were saying earlier, the town that is the actual skiing is like a small skiing town, and it's a fortune to stay there right now.
Yes.
So
I looked at options and then I'm like, do we have to rent a car? I've rented a car in Europe before. That's a whole thing. And I'm just like,
in the snow, I don't think so. Because they took a bus for 2 hours from Torino to get to that town.
mm-hmm.
And then they saw the skiing. And so they're seeing all that. So they went for, I think they're flying home tomorrow. I mean, because the Olympics are like 2.5 weeks long.
Yeah.
So they went, look, their budget, and I don't blame them, so they wouldn't have to sell their organs after a while. Hey, that's pretty good for about a week to see all these things.
It's incredible.
Oh, it
It's
is.
incredible. I'm so happy for them and you need to have them on when they get back. I
Oh,
can't wait
yes.
to hear their stories, their recounts of it.
Nicole, when you went to the Winter Olympics, what was your favorite sports you saw live where you're like, this is incredible?
That's a really hard thing to say. I will tell you, this may sound funny. Probably one of the most memorable experiences when I think of the Winter Olympics, my first thought is almost always curling. It was not riveting.
Hmm.
And what was cool about it though is that you're watching like eight different competitions at once.
Oh,
So we saw France, I believe, was who ended up winning the whole thing. So they were competing. They were in and out, just like that. So we saw all of the final teams, and we saw Team USA. Team USA, we have a solid curling team now. The last couple of Olympics, we've had some good curlers. At that point, it was not as solid. And they took so long and I was falling asleep and I'm like, I'm at the Olympics. And my husband was like, do you want to leave? And it's like, no, we are here. We're doing this, And I'm just like, stay awake, stay awake. There was a gentleman there who was so passionate about curling. He had the American flag and he was answering everyone's questions. So it was almost like having a little VIP guide helping us learn about the sport that we didn't know a ton about. And
you
and curling
you were falling asleep too, and he's doing that. You should
To
be
be
doing
fair, we
what?
had biked all around Stanley Park that day
Mm.
because one of the things that I recommend is that you don't do more than one event per day because you also want to be able to explore the city. So for us that day, we biked all around Stanley Park. So we, had some good physical exertion, and then the games didn't start until 8 p.m.
Oh,
So it's like almost 10 o'clock. I've been on my feet all day
it's like,
and it's been go, go, go.
and it's
And
and it's winter time. There's
it's
still
winter time.
yeah.
The most fun to watch was ski cross, which they've changed it. They've changed it since that very first debut. It had been at the X Games. And let me tell you, we did not quite know what to expect. And we went up to the mountain, we took a bus up to the mountain, and we're like, cool, we want to see something at the mountain that feels very Olympic-y, right? And we had seats because sometimes you see the people standing on the side, and I'm like, this is going to be hours. I got to have a seat. So we're in the bleachers, and they start coming down, and there's obstacles and moguls and all these things. And there's like four ladies coming down the mountain at once. And there's so many crashes. So it used to be in ski cross, all these people would come down the mountain at once and try and get to the bottom first. And they've got obstacles and jumps and different things that they have to do along the way. And it was just like crash after crash after crash after crash. They've changed it to where now it's one at a time that goes down because I think they realize this is a little bit nuts. I think that a lot of the Olympic sports really were created on a drunken dare.
I
I mean,
agree.
think about like okay, let's go down this really, intense icy hill. And let's go down, you know what? Let's go down it head first because feet first wasn't enough. Like, what?
It's so true. I don't I don't even know. I'm with you 100% because I don't understand. And how do you judge these sports as well, especially the skiing? Like,
A
oh,
lot of them are
see,
speed. It's timing. Who gets down the fastest?
you're like, but then sometimes you're like when they're like jumping off things and they're doing flips in the air. That wasn't good enough for me. I'm sorry, they didn't land. It's like the fact they landed normally and didn't blow out their knee, or like Lindsey Vaughn who injured her leg, broke it.
Yeah.
Look, it's a miracle you're still standing and you didn't die from some of this stuff. You should get them.
She has she's gone through so much. Not just dating Tiger Woods,
I
but
knew you were gonna say that. I
but
knew it.
physically, sh- I I mean, she's probably almost like, Luke Skywalker, how he had like the metal arm after it was chopped off. I feel like that's kind of her now because she has given her all to her sport
She's awesome.
and then some. Yeah,
She's
she's
amazing.
incredible.
She's amazing. And I love sold grandma, 41-year-old. She's what can she still yes, she can do it. I like better the idea of the people that are like 30. They're 30. They're like the 35. They've been competing in their fourth or fifth Olympics. Yeah, because you know why? Some of them do start at 17 years old
Yeah.
and they just
Yes.
keep going. They do. I
And they
saw
have that mental strength. They know what it takes, you
mm,
know? It's it's really incredible.
okay.
I
Here's
blows me
my rule.
away.
Here's my rule, Nicole. If you've already won a gold medal, I have no sympathy that you lost a race. Like, I think if you, so it's like, all right, if you're a gold medalist and then you go back compete again, and then it's like, oh no, I'm only going to get the bronze, and I get it, they're upset because they've been working 4 years on this, but you've already won the gold medal,
I feel
right?
like you're just expanding your collection.
I
Get
know
one of every color. It's all good.
it is good, but like, it's cool to see someone win it for the first time, like that.
Yes.
Like, give them that, right?
What's really cool too
Mhm.
is to see their family members.
Oh,
It almost always makes me teary when I think about the ski cross because there's a lot of things that happen in between, which we're now becoming a little more aware of with some of the online feeds where it's not just the edited broadcast, but you can see some of the raw footage in between, and you can hear some of the things that are happening in the background. And so there's DJs, there's a lot of filler and different various mini entertainment things that happen in between the competitions, or waiting for the next athlete. And so one of the things that they did at Ski Cross is they asked all of the family members of athletes to stand up. And then they asked just the parents to remain standing. And it always makes me teary, because I just remember these parents from Japan, and we had actually seen them earlier with their daughter. Like, she was warming up, getting settled while we were all making our way up the mountain where we needed to be. And they were just so proud. And it's like, gosh, how many competitions have they been to? How much have they invested in so many ways? And this is, for most athletes, this is the pinnacle of their sport. And for so many, this is going to be life changing. And so just seeing them beaming, it was just like, it was so moving. And that's what I think is also really cool about the Olympics, is that it is about the athletes, and it's not just about the athletes. And while on TV, sometimes they'll feature the different family members, and that's, feel good things that they will do. But you actually get to see some of that in person when you're walking around the cities, and sometimes even meeting different family members and talking to them. And that's just a really cool, unique experience that you don't often get.
Very well said. I appreciate you saying that, because I wanted to bring up this with you real quick. So there's always the controversy of, let's ask Olympic athletes their political opinions. They
Hmm.
always do this every single, because you're trying to get these headlines. So
Right.
this is my new rule, and this is what it should be. Do not give any political opinions at the Olympics. Do not. Here's what you should say up there. You should go, look, this is not the time and the place for this. I'm here to represent the country that I love. And you could say, I love America, I love Canada, whatever it is. I love the United States. That's what I would say. It's my home. My family and friends are there. It is an amazing honor to represent my country. And I'm going to try to do my best to represent my country in my sport, whatever I'm going to do. And if they ask me, what do you think about what this person said? I said, look, again, this is not the time and the place. I am here to support just keep it positive, give them vanilla, give them fluff. And if you want answers to political problems in this country, go call up Washington, call up your local senator. Do not look at me. I'm sorry. That is my thought process at this point. Just stop it after a while. And none
So
of
I
these.
hear you, but I also think that what's interesting is that I think it's a little bit, I think we in our country hold a little bit of a double standard with that, because I think that's a fairly common perspective. But what's interesting is I feel like when other countries that we maybe judge ourselves as like, oh, we don't agree with what they're doing, when their athletes have spoken out and used their Olympic moment, and there have been a number of situations where it was even like, is a country even going to be able to compete because of turmoil that's happening or things like that? And I feel like those people that speak out are lauded because they care so much about their country. And I did see one athlete that shared some opinions, but was very clear of their passion for representing their country, their passion for the sport, and their love for the country as a whole. And so I think those things can be done in balance, but I think it is tricky. And I think if you are going to, you have to know that there's going to be people that agree, and there's going to be people that don't agree. Like, there's people that, are going to agree or disagree with my opinions on
Yeah.
curling and ski cross. So we all do have differing opinions, but I have noticed that there's been like strong feelings of when some, and we've seen it too. Let's go back to the Dixie Chicks. There were really strong feelings of when they made political statements. So whether, I think really anyone in a significant position of influence, but that is not political, that we view as more entertainment, we I think sometimes they're in a spot where they can't win,
Right?
you
So
know?
they can't
So
win.
you're like, "Hey, I'm going vanilla. I'm not doing,"
I'm going vanilla. Look, this is
Yeah.
what I'm trying. Okay, I'm sorry if this didn't come across. I have been working 4 years on this. This is it. Okay. Unless there is a medical emergency with 48 hours to go before we're going to compete, I don't want to hear about it. Just shut up. Unless it's a horrible tragedy. Like, and I'd say the same thing to you. It is go time. I will not
Yeah.
look at my phone. This is it.
Yeah.
Because my race is 30 seconds. This is the rest of my life. Like, if I'm going to try to win, here we go. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. Like, enough, just shut up. Same thing like if you were at the Super Bowl. Like, hey, if it's the night before the Super Bowl, shut up. Like, I'm
Right.
not kidding. Let's go. This is it.
And
So
there are some instances where athletes, they won't, maybe they're in their hometown, but they don't actually stay at home because they're like, I've got to get in the zone. I can't have
yeah,
any distractions. And so I think that's what I hear you saying. I also think that, to your point of it's trying to get that headline, I feel like there's been some better questions in the last couple of games, but it used to be for quite some time, as soon as they would lose, it would be, how does it feel to be a loser? How does it feel? You've worked 4 years to try and win and you just lost. How do you feel? And it was like, are you kidding me? Like these people
great.
have, and they're still the best of the best. All of these people competing there are the best of the best. Just to have even made it there is incredible. And the reality is, not everyone can win. We all want the gold. We all want to be on top, but there's only 3 spots on the podium, and you have more than 3 athletes. So I do like when the reporters take more of a human approach and are more like, hey, you gave it your all. How do you feel? How does it feel to have competed in your first Olympic Games?
Yeah.
Even if you didn't win, we don't have to focus on that. Let's focus on what we can focus on how you're feeling, but we don't have to point out to you that your dreams were just shattered.
And don't listen to haters that call you a loser. Okay.
Right?
That's what I'm trying to
They
say.
weren't at the Olympics as an athlete.
So I can't look. It's so frustrating. Look, you and me, we've been in broadcasting PR. We know what to say. You know what I mean? We know these things. These are Olympic athletes. They're trying to compete. They're trying to concentrate. And then you get these questions. Well, what do you think about? It's like, just do the games, have fun. Okay. Just
Yeah.
enjoy the experience. That's what it needs to
Yeah.
be. Hey, men's hockey starts today. I'm excited. My favorite Olympic sport for winter.
Mhm.
I can't
Who
wait.
who do you think's gonna win?
Well, I know women's Team USA is going to win the gold. They kicked the what's the word? I'm trying to keep this a family show. They beat Canada 5-0, which was awesome. I I don't look. I USA men have not won since 1980, the Miracle on Ice, which is sad. I think it's gonna be Canada again. I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. And by the way, Bad Bunny, it's not Canada anymore. He called it Canada, right? So it's sexy, the pronunciation. I need to say it. Okay. So I thought, all right, Nicole, I'll let you go. You need to come back on. We'll do another recap here at the end of the games. Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Have a great day. Thanks, Nicole.
You too, Mark. Thanks.